Whilst official results are still outstanding, Malawi's opposition leader Lazarus Chakwera is claiming victory in a rerun of last year's presidential polls, which were plagued by widespread rigging. Now, Malawi's Electoral Commission has been urging people to wait for the official results to come through. Malawi journalist Daniel Mababa is in Lilongwe, the capital, and he joins us now via Skype to give us an update of the situation. Daniel, thanks so much indeed for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Well, thanks for having me, Peter. And just a correction, I left Lilongwe to cover the main tally center, which is in Blantyre.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's where you are. Zikomo. All right. So we are getting a sense that the result is known, but they're still tallying. Do we have any idea how long it'll take before it's made official?
Just as I speak to you now, there is a media briefing underway. The chairperson of the Electoral Commission is addressing the press, and he says the official results should be announced within the next 24 hours. We anticipate that that briefing will take place tomorrow morning. So it's in the next 24 hours.
All right. So what we understand that this year, what's different is that each polling station has a total that gets posted outside the polling station. It gets signed off by the party agents. So it's very difficult to imagine a situation where the final total differs significantly from those that have been collected at the districts.
We do not anticipate so much difference, like you put it, Peter. So this election has been that transparent because this Electoral Commission is coming to try and clean their CV, if I may put it. And this vote, I must report, is one of the most heavily guarded votes in Malawi. So to try and enforce transparency and accountability, like you rightly put it, every polling center, after the votes were tallied there, they were pasted and signed by party monitors. At the constituency level, the votes were tallied and pasted on notice boards for everyone to see. And as well at the district level, the votes were signed off and sealed by everyone, every stakeholder there. So it's really so difficult. And we had to wait at the main tally center for the district official to now move the results to the national tally center for the whole national tallying. So
far, given what's already public in terms of what's in the polling stations and the districts, what is the indication about what seems like a margin of victory for the opposition leader?
So for the first time in Malawi has taken the route of the 50+1 protocol, and we are getting a feeling that Lazarus Chakwera of the MCP has already surpassed that margin. He's hovering somewhere around 59–60% of the vote. He's trailed at a distance by the incumbent president, Peter Mutharika, who is somewhere around 38–39% of the vote, and one other candidate, Peter Kuwani, who is somewhere at 1%. We do not expect that to change significantly with the reviews and the tallying that is being done here at the main tally center. I'm saying this because what we have seen, the trends are that the commission is now looking into the null and void votes. But the numbers that have been coming so far, the null and void votes that are being reconsidered and recounted and added to the candidates are not that significant, are just in hundreds, I may say. So the changes will be there, but not so significant to change the current figures that I'm giving you, 60%, 39%, and 1%.
All right. So what's the general feeling across the country at the moment, given the what looks like a significant margin of victory?
So the feeling is somewhat divided, but the greater feeling or the general feeling is that of liberation. This country, people in this country, or a majority of people in this country, let's go by 60%, a majority of the people feel liberated. They feel this is the time. Some people are equating it to the 1994, 1993 events when Malawi left the one-party system of government to go into multi-party. It's kind of rekindling into that feeling. So there's that general feeling that this country is now taking on a new direction. However, I must also hasten to say, Peter, that, as in any election, the feeling could be divided. You have the northern part of the country and the central part of the country that's in a celebratory mood because it's most of the votes for Dr. Lazarus Chakwera are coming from that area. But also here in the south, which is a stronghold of the incumbent Peter Mutharika, the mood is somewhat muted. I've been observing on social media followers of the ruling, I would call it the outgoing party, the outgoing governing party, and their followers are somewhat muted, which is expected, of course. I must also report that as I speak, there are celebrations at the headquarters of the Malawi Congress Party since last night. People are celebrating already, even though the official results are not yet out.
And I suppose for the Malawi Congress Party, this is huge. So for so long in the wilderness, and I suppose many people never thought they'd see the day that the MCP would rule the country again.
Well, that was the feeling, but I must say that feeling began to change sometime in 2014, becoming this side. They've been out in the opposition over the last 3 decades, and that's quite a long time. A lot of people that voted in this election are younger than 30 years, and this is quite new. It must be a good feeling for the MCP after staying in the opposition that long, but it's a good feeling for a greater part of this country. But also, given the fact that MCP feels vindicated, MCP feels justice has been served after that botched May 2019 elections.
But I suppose for many, they'll say that Malawi has come of age, and that in the end, democracy won because the courts stood up. They nullified an election. I think this is the second time it's only happened on the continent. And they were able to get a free and fair vote eventually.
I must say, Peter, I'm a proud Malawian, basically because of what the courts did in this country. I thought they've set the pace. I thought they did the right thing. That election in May should not have stood in any way. You can't have an election with all that TPEX and stuff. I must say, like I must repeat, I'm a proud Malawian because of what the courts did, and this is a feeling in the majority of people in this country. Of course, for the DPP, they do not agree. They feel the courts. They feel this is some kind of a judicial coup, but I must say that we are, for once, Malawi has been a shining star.
All right. So, what do you think was the game changer? Was it the protests? Is it young people? What was different this time around? Because disputing poll results is not a new thing. But for some reason, something changed at this time around. And we did see protests, which perhaps was something new as well for us looking from the outside, looking in Malawi.
I think leadership was key in the protest. I must put it that way. We saw the intention just immediately after those results in May were announced. Dr. Lazarus Chakwera came out disputing his running mate in this election, who was also a contender in that election. They came out fighting, and they made their intentions clear that this election was fraudulent and it must not stand. And so that was the message that they put across to their followers. And you see, these were the two leaders back then, and then they got all the people, okay, rallied behind them. Then they made their intentions clear that we will go to court, we will fight, and it finally paid off. So to me, their leadership was key, but also generally. You see, there are a lot of things that people were not happy about with this current administration, and so it just coincided, and there was so much drive in the people to secure justice in this election.
All right, so Daniel, we're going to leave it there. Thanks very much indeed. We're going to let you go to this press conference and hear what's being said, but let's hope a result does come through quite soon. Thanks so much indeed for your insights, as always.
Pleasure is mine, Peter.
All right, so that's a Malawian journalist, Daniel Mababa, speaking to us there from Blantyre. He's moved away from Lilongwe and talking about historic times, it seems, playing out in Malawi. We'll get a result, official result. We're told it could be as early as the next 24 hours as the results are being tallied.